A competitor shall prepare the weld joint and weld tacks with preferred welding processes according to the provided drawing for the 10T pressure vessel. Welding process: SMAW, GMAW, FCAW, GTAW. Task: to construct pressure vessel tack welding using 10mm plate and pipe. Objective: complete tack welds for pressure vessel with provided materials. Goals: strengthen weld joint preparation skills and welding skills. Understand provided drawings such as front view, top view, and side view. Material: pressure vessel, 10T by 400mm by 300mm by 350mm. Tack welding of base material. Choose one among SMAW, GMAW, FCAW, GTAW. Tack welds with FCAW process. Welding rod, K71T, 1.2mm, FCAW. Main focus of the task: confirm the material size by cross-checking with the provided drawing. Make tack welds on the locations easy to access for grinding. It is better to make tack welds at the corner where plates assembly together. Weld joints for the pressure vessel have zero root gap. Instead, burr on the contacting surface should be removed. Prevent the misalignment at the start and end point. While fit up the pressure vessel, keep the verticality and even level and the zero root gap between plates. Mark the guideline for fillet size with marking needle prior to welding. Use current 140 to 180 ampere, voltage 16 to 21 volts for tack welding. For tack welds, the length of tack welds shall not over 15 mm any XYZ direction. Tack welds are only allowed for outside of pressure vessel. If a competitor makes tack welds inside of pressure vessel, a competitor will lose the marks. Preparation and tools. Precautions. Prior to tack welding, check the material list on the drawing, then check if there are any missing parts or incorrect size carefully. Once work started, it is not allowed to replace the materials. A paint marker might be used to mark on the material, but it is recommended to use chalk to eliminate easily. Check any existing burr on the edge of plates. If required, remove it with a file. If burr exists, gaps or misalignment may be caused. It is necessary to keep the vertical and horizontal level while fitting up the pressure vessel. Whenever tacks weld, check the vertical and horizontal level of base material and adjust it since shrinkage may occur at tack welds. For tack welds on the butt joint, put the plates on the flat surface and adjust the alignment with a magnetic base. Then, weld tack welding. The pad and pipes on pressure vessel shall be installed at the right location. If the dimension is incorrect, a competitor will lose marks. When the GMAW process is used for welding, the oxide layer needs to be removed after tack welding. For pipe tack welding, use a V-groove block to adjust alignment easily. While tack welding pipe and pad, the size of tack welds shall not over the guideline of welding. If tack weld size is exceeding the guideline, the welding size will be partially increased to cover those tacks to make uniform bead profile. While tack welding the pressure vessel, consider following fit-up sequence. Otherwise, there may be a fitting of failure or a wide gap between plates. Assembly sequence for pressure vessel has not fixed, but it should be the way minimize the shrinkage distortion and residual stress. Therefore, it is recommended assemble the plate from left to right as in fiducial front plate. Performing tasks. Preparation of base material weld joints. Prior to checking the structure of pressure vessel, review the provided drawing. 2 drawings, one for material list and another one for the welding process, will be provided. Cross-check the material list drawing and given materials and check if any missing parts or materials with incorrect size carefully. Measure the size of every single material with a steel ruler. While measuring the size of elements, confirm where they should be located on the pressure vessel. Confirm if the size of each joining parts to be assembled is the same. The actual size of parts could be different about 1 to 2 millimeters from the drawing. In this case, increase the gap as the amount of the difference or reduce the size by trimming with a grinder. After confirming the size, mark the assembly location on the pressure vessel where it belongs to. A paint marker might be used for marking on the material, but it is recommended to use chalk to remove it easily. Check the number of missing materials by marking the list symbol on the material drawing. After counting the number of parts, mark the details on the parts the location where it should be by cross-checking with the drawing, and whether removal of the oxide layer is required. Make sure to measure the size of pipe with vernier calipers. The thickness of pipes should be measured as well. It is not allowed to replace the parts once tack welding starts. Prior to tack welding, check the material carefully, and if there is any material with incorrect size, ask for new part. Especially for pipes, assemble the parts in advance and confirm the size of cover plate is correct. After verifying the material list, remove burrs completely, remaining on the edge of the material. Most of the material provided for the completion will be laser cut. Cutting face will be clear, but burr may be noted on the edge of the materials. If the residual burr is not removed, it may cause misalignment while tack welding. Fix the material with a horizontal vise and remove the burr on the side of the plate with a file. After removal of burr, bring the material and return to the welding booth. The workflow up to now is preparation scope and not consider as the task time duration. But pay attention carefully than any other process, since this is the process to check the materials whether materials have provided inaccurately. Tack welding for pressure vessel. Welding process used by welder. Recommended using FCAW process for fast working and better weldability. For tack welding, welding tools such as steel ruler, magnetic base, hammer, and square gauge are required. Check the material list drawing and prepare for tack welding. 3 base materials will be used for the side section. Adjust the misalignment of plates with a steel ruler and fix the plates with a magnetic base. Tack weld will be made after assembly of 2 plates, not 3 plates. When trying to make many tack welds for many parts at one time, it will cause misalignment. Make 1 spot tack welding and continue tack welding, checking the misalignment with a steel ruler. While tack welding, shrinkage occurs at the tack point. Remained shrinkage will cause misalignment or defects on the completed task. Flatten the shrinkage area with a hammer. Attach the 3rd plate to use for the side section at the tacked 2 plates. When the surface of the tacked plates is not even, there may be a misalignment when placing the 3rd plate together. Check the alignment with a steel ruler securely and fix plates with a magnetic base. For butt joint, put the plates on the table and adjust the misalignment with a magnetic base and make a tack weld. Tack weld a butt joint for the side section. After finishing tack welding, check the misalignment with a steel ruler. Check the plates whether it has any issues, since tack welding could cause shrinkage of the base materials. If required, flattening the plate with a hammer. Mark the location where oxide layers should be removed with a chalk. When FCAW and SMAW process is to be used, the oxide layer removal does not require. The oxide layer will be dissolved at the higher welding current. For the GMAW process, due to shallow penetration and sensitivity with a contaminant, the oxide layer shall be removed in advance. Assemble and make tacks in order of the left side section, front section, and right side section. After the flat plate's tack welding completed, tack welds a pad to be welded on the flat plate. First, refer to the drawing and mark the location of the pad. When dimensions for location of pad are incorrect, it's considered as incorrect work and a competitor will lose marks. In case of the pad, it should maintain 0 gap between the flat plates. If tack welds are produced incorrectly, the main welding will be very challenging. When corner joints have gaps or overlap, welding cannot be done with equal welding conditions because welding parameters need to be changed a little bit. Therefore, from the beginning of tack welding, plates shall put together tightly and maintain 0 gap. The oxide layer needs to be removed since a pad shall be welded with the GMAW process according to the drawing. Remove the oxide layer around the marking line. This pre-work makes welding work easy. It seems tack welding takes a long time, but by doing this way, actual welding time will be reduced. Attach the pad to the flat plate with FCAW. Make tack welds at the location where the tack could be removed easily by the grinder. Since re-tack welding might be required if incorrect tacks made, the pad needs to be dismantled from the flat plate. Then, tack welding for pipes. Fix the pipes by using a V-groove block and magnetic base. Then, make tack welds. By using V-groove block, adjustment of misalignment will be easier since the position for pipes will be fixed. A V-groove block prevents the movement of pipes and adjust the misalignment with a magnetic base. Make 2 or 3 tacks for pipes. If too many tacks made on pipes, it will be hard to separate pipes when tacks made incorrectly. When performing tack welding, it is necessary to consider the failure of tack welding and reworks. Make tacks on pipe cover plates. To keep the gap between the pipe and cover plate, insert a steel ruler and weld tacks. The thickness of the steel ruler used by the welder is about 0.8 millimeters. After completion of tack welding from one side, remove the steel ruler and weld tack from the opposite side. Size of tack welds shall not bigger than requires weld size. If tack welds locates outside of main welding, final welding profile will be non-uniform since amount of weldment will be increased partially to cover tacks. When tack welding finishes from one side, remove a magnetic base and fit up the opposite side with tack welding. When pipe tack welding finishes, remove the oxide layer on the weld surface by grinding. After tack welding finishes on flat plates, make tack welds for the corner joints. Fit up the front and side plates vertically. Fix them with a magnetic base and align them at 90 degrees. Assemble each part and confirm the angle with a square gauge. If plates maintain even level while tack welding, the gap of the corner joint will be the uniform at bottom, middle, and top. Maintaining even level is the most critical point. If plates are not even, pre-assembly might not be possible. Once confirm the square angle, then make tack welds. Size of tack welds shall not bigger than the required weld size. When side section assembly is completed, install a cover plate and make tack welds. When tack welding pressure vessel, consider the following assembly sequence. Otherwise, it will be impossible to assemble or wide gap can be created when the next parts are assembled. When securing large material, use G-clamp to fix the plates. Even if plates have been fixed, double-check if the square angle and correct alignment are maintained. Make tack welds on the cover plate. Assembly sequence for pressure vessel is not determined. However, it should be the way minimize the shrinkage distortion and residual stress. Therefore, it is recommended to assemble from left to right side from the plate. In general, weld butt joints having larger shrinkage first. Then, weld the fillet joints. After tack welding, check repeatedly to confirm the alignment. Assemble and tack weld the cover plate on pipes. Refer to the drawing and locate the pipe correctly. If pipes installed at an incorrect location, it will be considered as an incorrect work, and a competitor will lose the marks. Make tack welds for elbow-shaped pipe. Adjust the horizontal and vertical position of the plates and fix them with a magnetic base, then make tack welds. Make 2 tack welds on the location where tacks could be removed easily by grinding. After tack welding, confirm the pipe kept vertically without any twist. If required, remove the tack and do rework. When the tack welding is completed, mark the welding guideline that is convenient for the welder for the butt and fillet joint. Place 10 mm plate on the weld joint and make weld guideline with a marking needle. Mark welding guideline for pipe joint after checking the min and max size of the welding width according to the drawing. Inspect the pressure vessel tack welding has done according to given instructions. If there are incorrect parts, remove the tacks with the grinder and do rework. Check the length of tack welds are less than 15 mm. Please check the key points of the tasks you have done this time. So far, we have learned how to attach pressure vessels. Thank you for your hard work.